She posted a TikTok, manifesting a rich boyfriend while we were still together. I duetted, manifesting a loyal girlfriend. Then I updated my net worth, $1.2 M for my inheritance I'd never mentioned. When her friends tag her in my response video. Original post. 28 male, work as a maintenance supervisor for a mid-size apartment complex. I make around $52,000 a year, drive a 2018 Ford Ranger, wear Wranglers to work, and my idea of a nice dinner is the steak night special at the local bar and grill. To the outside world, I look exactly like what I am, a regular working-class guy with a stable but unremarkable income. What nobody knows, including my now ex-girlfriend, 26F, is that my grandmother passed away 3 years ago and left me $1.4 million. Gram was a quiet woman who lived in the same modest house for 50 years, drove a Toyota Camry until it had 280,000 miles on it, wore the same winter coat for a decade, and meanwhile had been investing since the 1970s. She never told anyone. Not even my parents knew the full number until the estate was settled. After taxes and the estate lawyer, I walked away with roughly $1.2 million sitting in a brokerage account that I have never touched except to reinvest dividends. I don't talk about it. I don't live off it. My Gram didn't build that money by being flashy, and I'm not about to disrespect her memory by acting brand new. I still work my job, pay my bills with my paycheck, and live within my means. The inheritance is for my future, a house, maybe a business someday, security. It's not for bottle service and designer clothes. So my girlfriend, we'd been together about 14 months. Met through a mutual friend at a 4th of July cookout. She works as a receptionist at a dental office. She's into social media, TikTok, Instagram, the whole ecosystem. I'm not. I have an Instagram I post on maybe twice a year, and a TikTok account I made once to watch woodworking videos and never posted on. She knew this about me. She used to joke that I was chronically offline, and it was kind of cute in an old man way. Things were good for the first 10 months or so. Normal relationship stuff. But around month 11, she started making these little comments. Small at first. We'd be at the mall, and she'd see a couple walking out of a luxury store and say, "Must be nice." We'd pass a Tesla in the parking lot, and she'd sigh. She'd screenshot her friends' vacation photos in Turks and Caicos and say, "Goals," and then look at me like I was supposed to volunteer a credit card. I let it slide because, honestly, who doesn't want nice things? I get it, but escalated. She started comparing us to other couples more directly. Her co-worker's boyfriend bought her a Tiffany necklace. Why don't I ever get her jewelry? Her best friend's fiancé drives a BMW. Isn't my truck kind of embarrassing to be picked up in? Her cousin's husband just renovated their kitchen. When are we going to level up? I told her once, calmly, I live within my means, and I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. She said, I'm not asking you to pretend. I'm asking you to try harder. Try harder. Like my entire financial existence was a lack of effort rather than a deliberate choice. Then, 3 Saturdays ago, I'm scrolling TikTok on the couch. She's in the bathroom getting ready for brunch with her friends, and the algorithm serves me a video. Her video, posted that morning, on her public account with about 1,800 followers. It's one of those manifesting trend videos. She's sitting at a table with candles lit, holding a journal, and the text overlay says, manifesting a rich boyfriend who spoils me the way I deserve, candle money with wings sparkles, hashtag manifestation, hashtag upgrade, hashtag ignore me worth. Posted while we were still together, while I was literally in the next room. I watched it 3 times. The caption said, putting it out into the universe because I'm done settling nail polish. Done settling. I'm the settlement. I'm the thing she needs to be rescued from. I put the phone down, stared at the ceiling for about 5 minutes. My jaw was tight. My hands were doing that thing where they go cold when adrenaline hits. But here's the thing. I didn't feel angry exactly. I felt resolved. Like all the little comments, all the comparisons, all the sighs and eye rolls suddenly made a complete picture. She didn't want me. She wanted a wallet that could take her to dinner. She came out of the bathroom looking great, said, "How do I look?" And I said, "Perfect," because she did, and because I wasn't ready to have a conversation yet. She left for brunch. I sat on the couch for another hour thinking. Then I made a decision. I open TikTok. Duet her video. On the left side, her manifestation candle ritual. On the right side, me sitting on the same couch, same apartment, same Wrangler jeans, holding my phone with the most deadpan expression I could manage. Text overlay. Manifesting a loyal girlfriend who values me for who I am and not my bank account sparkles. Hashtag loyalty. Hashtag know your worth. That's it. No insults. No calling her out by name. No anger. Just a mirror. I posted it and put my phone in the other room. Went to the garage and changed the oil in my truck because I needed to do something with my hands. 2 hours later, I checked. 14,000 views. By that evening, 86,000. Comments were going absolutely nuts. People were tagging their friends, doing their own duets, the whole thing. Someone commented king behavior, and that had 4,000 likes by itself. She hadn't seen it yet. I knew because she hadn't texted me. She was still at brunch. Her phone was probably in her purse on silent, because she does that when she's with her friends. She says it's present and mindful, which is ironic coming from someone who posts manifesting videos while her boyfriend is in the other room. At about 9 p.m. that night, she called me, voice shaking. Did you seriously do it my TikTok? Yeah. Figured if we were both manifesting, might as well do it together. This isn't funny. People from my job are seeing this. My friends are texting me. Someone commented that I'm an L-girlfriend. Do you know how humiliating that is? Probably about as humiliating as your boyfriend finding a video of you manifesting his replacement while he's on your couch. Silence. Then, you're taking it out of context. It was a trend. Everyone does those. Cool. My duet is also a trend now, apparently. Everyone's doing those too. She hung up. Shocker. Reddit, I know some of you are going to tell me I should have just broken up quietly. And maybe you're right. But I spent 14 months being the guy who wasn't enough, and something about watching her publicly audition for my replacement while I was 10 feet away just broke whatever filter I had left. The video's at 340,000 views now. And here's the thing, I haven't even gotten to the inheritance part yet. That comes next, and it wasn't planned. It just kind of happened. Update 1, 6 days later. Okay, so the internet is undefeated and my life is a circus now. Let me explain. After the phone call, my girlfriend showed up at my apartment the next morning. No text, no warning. Just showed up with a Starbucks oat milk latte in one hand and righteous fury in the other. She walked in and immediately said, "You need to take that video down." I was making eggs. "No, it's embarrassing me. Your video embarrassed me first. Mine's just a response. Mine was a joke. Yours is targeted harassment." I turned around with the spatula still in my hand. Targeted harassment? Babe, I didn't say your name, didn't tag you, didn't mention you. I duet a public video on a public platform. If your friends figure out who it was about, that's because your video was pretty obviously about us. That's not my problem. She set the latte down so hard some of it splashed on the counter. You know what your problem is? You're insecure. You know you can't give me the life I want, so instead of stepping up, you're trying to make me look bad for wanting more. I let that sit for a second. Then I said, "You're right about one thing. I probably can't give you the life you want. Because what you want isn't a partner. It's a sponsor. And I'm not applying for that position." She stared at me. I could see her brain cycling through responses. She landed on tears, sat down at my kitchen table, and started crying about how I never take her seriously and how she just wants to feel taken care of and how all her friends' boyfriends do nice things for them. I said, "I rebuilt your bathroom cabinet when it fell off the wall. I drove 40 minutes in a snowstorm to bring you soup when you had the flu. I spent my entire Saturday assembling that IKEA dresser you wanted and didn't complain once, even though the instructions were in Swedish and the dowels didn't fit. Those are nice things. They're just not expensive things. And apparently only the expensive ones count." She didn't have a response for that. She grabbed her latte and left. I finished my eggs. Now here's where the inheritance thing comes in. And I need to explain how it happened because it wasn't some calculated revenge move. It was a genuine accident that turned into something bigger. 2 days after the confrontation, my cousin called me. He follows me on TikTok and had seen the duet go viral. He thought it was hilarious. During the call, he said, "Bro, the comments are insane. Someone said, you probably make $40,000 and can't afford to keep a woman. You should tell them about Graham's money just to watch their heads explode. I laughed it off, but the comment stuck with me. I went and found it. Some random account had commented, maybe if bro had something to offer besides vibes and a Ford Ranger, she wouldn't need to manifest LOL skull. It had 800 likes. And for some reason that comment, not my girlfriend's video, not the fight, not the months of belittling, that comment is what broke the camel's back. I made a second video, same couch, same deadpan face. I held up my phone showing my brokerage account balance. I blurred the account number and my full name, but the balance was clear, $1,247,832. Text overlay, when she manifests a rich boyfriend, but you've been sitting on 7 figures the whole time and just weren't dumb enough to mention it, shushing face. I posted it at like 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, thinking maybe a few thousand people would see it and I'd get some laughs. I woke up to 2.1 million views. 2.1 million. The comments were absolute chaos. Half the people didn't believe it. Fair. A screenshot of a brokerage account doesn't prove anything. But enough people were running with it that it didn't matter. The narrative was set. Girl publicly manifests a rich boyfriend. Boyfriend turns out to be a millionaire who is just living below his means. Girl played herself. TikTok ate it up. By noon, my girlfriend's original manifesting video, which had been at about 9,000 views when all this started, shot up to 600,000 views because people went to find it from my duet. The comments on her video were merciless. Not because I sent anyone there, just because that's how the internet works. Someone sees a story, they want the full picture, they go digging. She called me 22 times between noon and 3 p.m. I was at work. I literally couldn't answer because I was fixing a busted water heater in Unit 14 and my phone was in the office. When I finally called her back, she was hysterical. You told the internet about your money. Money you never told me about? We've been together for over a year and you hid this from me? I didn't hide anything. I just didn't mention it. There's a difference. $1.2 million, and you didn't think that was worth mentioning to your girlfriend? You posted a video manifesting a richer boyfriend while I was sitting next to you. I think my instincts were pretty solid on the not telling you front. I can't believe you. I can't believe you. You made me look like the biggest idiot on the internet. You posted the manifesting video. I just responded. You wrote the setup. I delivered the punchline. You're a liar. You lied to me for our entire relationship. I never lied. You never asked. And honestly, if you had known, would you have treated me differently? Because that's exactly the problem. She went quiet, like dead quiet, and then she said something that confirmed everything. Of course I would have treated you differently. That changes everything. Yeah, I said, it does. Just not the way you think. I told her we were done. She said I was making the biggest mistake of my life, and that no one else is going to want a guy who humiliates his girlfriend online. I said I'd take my chances. She hung up. Classic. Within hours, her best friend texted me a long paragraph about how I was toxic and weaponized social media against a woman and how this was borderline abusive. I read it, didn't respond, and muted the conversation. Then her mom, her MOM, this woman who I've met exactly 3 times, sent me a text that said, I raised my daughter to know her worth. She deserves someone who provides abundance, not someone who hides it. You should be ashamed. I almost responded to that one. Almost. But instead I screenshot it and sent it to my cousin who said, bro, her mom is speedrunning the entitlement DLC. And that made me laugh hard enough to let it go. But here's the part one wasn't ready for. The videos are still going. People are making reaction videos, stitches, commentary. Some girl with 500K followers made a whole analysis of the manifesting boyfriend saga and broke down the psychology of entitlement in relationships. A financial literacy account used my second video as an example of stealth wealth and how living below your means is the smartest financial strategy. That one actually made Graham proud, I think, wherever she is. I've gained about 40,000 followers on an account that previously had 11. I don't know what to do with that. I posted one video in my truck because people kept asking what I drive, and that got 800K views for literally no reason. The internet is bizarre. More coming, because she's not done. And neither am I. Update 2, 12 days later. Final update. Strap in, because this one's got some weight to it. After the breakup and the viral circus, I figured things would die down naturally. The internet moves fast. Someone else would do something dumb, and everyone would forget about the manifesting boyfriend. I go back to fixing water heaters, and she'd go back to posting content, and we'd both just move on. That's not what happened. About 3 days after my last update, my ex's best friend posted a TikTok. It was one of those My True Style videos with sad music and text overlays. The gist was, her friend, my ex, was the victim of a manipulative partner who hid his wealth to test her loyalty, then publicly humiliated her when she failed a test she didn't know she was taking. That framing is clever. I'll give her that, because it makes me the villain, the guy who set a trap and punished his girlfriend for falling into it. It skipped over the part where the trap was just me living my normal life, and the failing was her publicly advertising that she wanted someone richer while we were still together. But context doesn't go viral. Framing does. That video got about 200K views. The comments were mixed, maybe 60/40ths in her favor on that one. Some people genuinely felt bad for her. And honestly, I can see why. If you strip away the context and just hear, guy hid $1 million from his girlfriend, then embarrassed her online, that doesn't sound great. I get it. But here's what her best friend didn't count on. Comment sections are uncontrollable. People who had followed the whole saga from my duet started showing up in her comments, posting the timeline. Screenshots of my ex's original manifesting video. The done settling caption. The whole thing. Within a day, her best friend's My Truth video had become a battleground, and not in her favor. Her best friend deleted it, but by then it had been screen recorded and reposted by commentary accounts. The internet keeps receipts even when you don't want it to. Meanwhile, I'm dealing with something I genuinely did not expect. My inbox was flooded, and I don't mean with hate mail. People started messaging me, asking for financial advice. How do you invest in inheritance? How do you live below your means? What brokerage do you use? I'm a maintenance guy. I don't know anything about finance beyond what Graham's estate attorney set up for me. I eventually posted a short video saying, I am not a financial advisor. I fix air conditioners for a living. Please talk to a professional. And somehow that got 1.5 million views because the internet decided my financial incompetence was relatable king energy. I cannot stress enough how absurd my life had become. Now here's the part that matters. About a week after the breakup, I got a DM from a guy. No profile picture, fresh account, obviously a burner. The message said, hey man, I'm the guy your ex has been talking to. I didn't know she was in a relationship. She told me she was single. I saw the TikTok stuff and put it together. I'm sorry, bro. I stared at that message for a solid 5 minutes. I wrote back, I appreciate you telling me. How long? He said, about 2 months. We matched on Hinge. She said she'd just gotten out of something. I took her to dinner a few times. When I saw your duet video, I recognized her immediately. I confronted her, and she said you two were basically broken up. Then I saw her original video date stamped 3 weeks ago in your duet and did the math. 2 months. She'd been on Hinge for 2 months while we were together. The manifesting video wasn't aspirational. It was operational. She was actively shopping for my replacement and posting content about it like it was a personality trait. I thanked the guy, told him no hard feelings toward him. He didn't know. He said he'd already stopped talking to her because anyone who lies that casually about being single is going to lie about other things too. Smart man. I didn't confront my ex about the Hinge thing. What would be the point? We were already broken up. The information didn't change anything practically, but it confirmed something I needed to know, that walking away was the right call. This wasn't a girl who made one tone-deaf video. This was someone who had been building an exit strategy while sitting next to me on the couch. Now the consequences. And these are the real, practical, not made-for-TV consequences. First, her social media. My ex didn't delete her TikTok, but she went private. Her follower count, which had been around 1,800, apparently dropped to about 400 after she locked it, because people who'd followed for the drama lost access. Her Instagram went private too. For someone whose entire social identity was built on engagement and visibility, going dark was basically a digital funeral. Second, Her social circle. This one's sad but real. A couple of her friends reached out to me independently, not to attack me, but to tell me they'd seen the pattern. One of them said, "She's been like this with every boyfriend," compares them to whatever she sees online, and then blames them when reality doesn't match the content she consumes. We try to talk to her about it, but she says we're not supportive of her growth. That friend and I aren't buddies or anything, but I appreciated the honesty. Third, and this is the one that was hardest for me, her job. A couple of patients at the dental office apparently recognized her from the TikTok stuff and made comments. Nothing cruel, just awkward. One of them allegedly said something like, "Oh, you're the manifesting girl," in the waiting room. Her boss had a conversation with her about maintaining professional image as it reflected on the practice. She wasn't fired. I want to be clear about that. But the humiliation of being recognized at your workplace for something like this, that's a consequence that sticks. I didn't orchestrate any of that. I didn't send anyone to her job. I didn't tell anyone where she works. The internet did what the internet does. When you post something publicly, you invite the public in. That's not my fault. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel a twinge of guilt about the job thing. She's still a person. A frustrating, entitled, disloyal person, but a person. Now the last part. The part about me. About 4 days ago, I was sitting in my apartment after work. TV off. Phone charging in the other room because I'd started leaving it there to avoid the constant notification buzz. I was eating leftover spaghetti, and I looked around my apartment. Same apartment I've had for 3 years, same secondhand furniture, same everything. And I had this moment of absolute clarity. This is exactly what Graham wanted. Not the viral videos or the breakup drama, obviously, but the principle. She built wealth by being quiet about it, by not changing who she was based on what other people expected, by valuing substance over appearance. She drove that Camry not because she couldn't afford a Lexus, but because the Camry ran fine and the difference went into the portfolio. My ex looked at my truck and my apartment and my Wranglers and saw a man who wasn't trying hard enough. Graham would have looked at the same picture and seen a man who was doing exactly what she taught him. I called my mom that night, told her about everything, the breakup, the TikTok mess, all of it. She already knew some of it because my cousin has a big mouth. She was quiet for a while, and then she said, "Your grandmother would have said that girl has expensive taste and cheap values." And yeah, that's about the most accurate summary anyone's given. So where am I now? Single, still working maintenance, still driving the Ranger. The brokerage account is still sitting there, untouched, quietly growing. I turned off TikTok notifications and haven't posted in a week. The followers will probably disappear, and that's fine. I never want an audience. I wanted a partner, and I'll find one eventually, or I won't. Either way, I know what I'm not willing to compromise on. My ex texted me 2 days ago. First contact since the breakup call. It said, "I hope you're happy that you ruined my life." I read it, thought about it, and responded with, "I didn't ruin anything." I made a duet. She didn't text back. To everyone who followed this weird, accidental, completely unplanned saga, thank for the support, and thank for the people who kept it real when I needed to hear it. Some of y'all told me the second video was too far, and maybe you're right. I can hold that. But I can also hold that a woman who swipes on Hinge while her boyfriend fixes her bathroom cabinet doesn't get to lecture me about cruelty. Graham, if you're watching from wherever quiet, sensible women go when they leave, I kept the Ranger. I kept the Wranglers. And I kept the money right where you left it. I think you'd be okay with how this turned out. Take care of yourselves, Reddit, and maybe don't manifest on Maine. You never know who's watching.